Hello, you're watching Afghannews with Mohsen Jamal. Top U.S. lawmakers on Sunday slammed President Barack Obama's military draw down plans for Afghanistan as risky, unsupported by his military commanders, and a threat to progress made in the last year. Withdrawal at the rate Obama has planned on is an unnecessary risk, and that is why there was no military leader who recommended aid, Republican Senator John McCain said during a visit to Kabul, joined by fellow Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and Joe Lieberman in the Afghan capital. The trio spoke to media after visiting U.S. troops. Graham described progress in parts of the war-torn country as really stunning, but warned that all the gains are still reversible. Both General David Petraeus and Admiral Mike Mullen, the chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, have said Obama's plan was more aggressive than they had recommended. Afghan police footage released on Monday showed officers sifting through their debris at one of Kabul's landmark hotels room by room after an overnight assault on Tuesday in which 12 people were killed. The attackers, armed with rocket-propelled grenades and other weapons, stormed the heavily guarded Intercontinental Hotel frequented by Westerners and VIPs before NATO helicopters killed the remaining insurgents in a final rooftop battle that ended a raid lasting more than 5 hours. Hotel staff said that attackers entered the hotel after several explosions and made their way to the ballroom, adding that the militants played Taliban war songs on tape recorders and shot at anyone they saw. There have been insurgent attacks at a hotel, guest house and a supermarket in Kabul over the past year, although the capital has been relatively quiet compared with the rest of the country. Belgium's Defense Minister Pieter de Crème on Sunday proposed to halve the nation's troop numbers in Afghanistan by next year. De Crème said the pullout would be in line with U.S. President Barack Obama's announcement of the start of the U.S. withdrawal next month. Washington intends to cut a third of its 100,000 troops by next summer. Out of a total strength of 585 currently in the country, 325-strong contingent of Belgians provide security for Kabul airport, while the rest based mainly in Kandahar in the south, where 6 Belgian F-16 fighters are deployed. A road accident in central China's Hubei province has killed 26 while 31 others were injured after a long-distance coach was hit by a truck and caught fire on Monday morning, local police said. The accident occurred at about 3:50 a.m. local time on the Xiantou section of the Suizhou-Yuyang Expressway, which links Suizhou and Hubei with Yuyang and adjacent Hunan province. A spokesman with the Hubei Traffic Police Headquarters said the bus bound for Tianmen City from southern Guangdong province was hit by the truck from the behind and ran off the road, then overturned and caught fire. Police are investigating the cause of the accident. Yingluck Shinawatra has announced a new 5-party coalition government a day after she led Pheu Thai Party to a landslide victory in parliamentary elections in Thailand. Yingluck, a sister of the ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, unveiled an agreement on Monday where the new coalition will control about 60% of parliament or 299 seats. Pheu Thai won a majority of 265 in the 500-seat parliament, and Yingluck is poised to become Thailand's first female prime minister. Earlier on Monday, Apisit Vijayjiva, the outgoing prime minister, resigned from leadership of the Democrat Party, taking responsibility for his party's loss. A meeting between NATO head Anders Fogh Rasmussen and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov opened a Russian NATO Council meeting in Sochi, Russia on Monday. The alliance, which normally meets at NATO's headquarters in Brussels, gathered advice on the Black Sea coast city of Sochi for discussions, which expected to center on the ongoing crisis in Libya. Rasmussen spoke on the need to achieve good results from a decision to work together on missile defense. Lavrov spoke positively about the potential for partnership with NATO, saying that differences over a proposed missile defense system remained. Lavrov's comments later in meetings Monday included criticism that disagreements on the war in Libya and missile defense were hampering efforts to build a strategic partnership between NATO and Russia. Turkey has extended official recognition to Libya's rebels and offered at least $200 million in aid as part of a diplomatic shift away from the regime of longtime leader Muammar Gaddafi. Ahmet Davutoglu, the Turkish foreign minister, met with rebel leaders in Benghazi during a one-day visit to the country on Sunday, saying his country now recognized the opposition National Transitional Council as the legitimate representative of the Libyan people. At the same time, Turkey officially withdrew its ambassador from Tripoli. Salim Levent Sahinkaya had left the Libyan capital in March due to the fighting and had not returned or been replaced. Turkey has long maintained business ties with Gaddafi's Libya and initially expressed disapproval for NATO airstrikes that sought to halt a regime advance on the rebel-held east, but since that campaign began, Turkey has distanced itself. Syrian tanks and armored vehicles deployed at the entrances to the city of Hama have pulled back, residents said. They headed north on Sunday after moving close to the city of 650,000 people. The move comes 2 days after the city saw the largest protest against President Bashar al-Assad since an uprising began 3 months ago. Meanwhile, activists and a resident said Syrian forces shot dead 2 protesters during a demonstration in a Damascus suburb. Troops advanced late on Saturday on Kafar Rumah village and made arrests in the district of Jabal al-Zawiya. Rami Abdul Rahman of the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said. Saboteurs blew up a pipeline carrying gas from Egypt to Israel and Jordan on Monday, forcing a shutdown in the flow of gas, Egyptian security sources said. The explosion took place in the early morning at a station along the pipeline in the northern Sinai Peninsula at Bir Abd, 60 kilometers east of the Suez Canal, the sources said. It was the third attack since early February on the pipeline, which supplies natural gas to Israel and Jordan, local cement plants and a power station. A security source said men with machine guns and a small truck forced guards at the station to leave, then planted explosive charges. And that Ratko Mladic, the former Bosnian Serb army chief, has been removed from the UN War Crimes Court at The Hague after refusing to enter a plea and disrupting the judge's attempts to read out the charges against him. Later, Judge Alphonse Orai of the International Criminal Court Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia entered formal pleas of not guilty on behalf of Mladic to the various charges against him. These charges include genocide and relate to the 43-month siege of the Bosnian capital Sarajevo and the massacre of 8,000 Muslim men and boys in Srebrenica, Europe's worst massacre since World War II. Having threatened to boycott his second hearing, Mladic did appear in court on Monday. He spent several minutes demanding different legal representation and requesting a delay before having to plead. And that's all for now. Thanks for staying with us.